Okay, let's talk about your power source and the electronic components to your Atlas 400 or RTC. Or BAT2, any version of the 400 series that we sell, they're all going to be identical in the power and the electronics and the motor. So let's first talk about the battery. The battery we recommend is the Interstate Deep Cycle Marine Duty battery. We prefer the wet cells. We have just been using them for a really long time, and they hold up great, and we can get many years of use out of them. The new AGM batteries that are coming out are a lot better than the older ones. So the first ones that were coming out, we tried utilizing those, but we weren't getting the longevity as we were with the wet cells. So, but the newer ones have been doing very well, so that may be something you think about as trying some AGMs. Most important thing on the trap is the battery. Its power source, making sure you have good power, good connections to the battery so that your machine will operate correctly. Batteries can get discharged, they can go bad just sitting. So in our kits, we always carry a battery tester, and this is one you can get on Amazon. This is not a multimeter. This is a specific battery tester. So in our kits, we keep this so when we have an issue with the machine, if it doesn't have any power, the first thing we do is check the battery. And so we'll run this meter on there and hook it up. It'll ask some information. It'll ask how many cranking amps is it, and so you just set what it is, and then it'll hit OK, and then it's going to run a test on it, and after a few seconds it will let you know if your battery is good or bad. They're digital. They work really well. I've been in the field multiple times and have had people say, no, the battery's good, and I'll throw this on there and it'll show that it's bad. So then we'll grab a new one or a different battery, put it on, the machine will work just fine. So I just stressing that the battery is the most important part. It can give you, false readings of, oh, it's, I know it's good and it's not, the trap's not working. Well, check it with the tester and you'll know. So into that, with the power source for your trap, always check your connections to your battery. We use eyelets that screw down to the post, and so make sure those are tight. Have a lot of customers don't tighten those, or they can get loose over time. So if you're having intermittent issues with voltage and things, you definitely want to check that first. We always start from the battery source and go up to the trap when we're servicing or trying to figure out what's going on with the machine during a shoot. So starting at the power source always is the good thing to do. You have a quick disconnect here. This would be the next step of checking. I've had customers where these have pulled out. So you have the two leads in here, and there's two little metal connectors, the positive and negative. Well, they can slip out of their orientation in here sometimes if they get yanked on or somebody steps on it. So that would be the next thing I would check for your power, is making sure that your connectors inside here are good, and the housings themselves, that they are good and not cracked. So somebody could step on this, break that housing, and then when you go to try to connect it, it's not really giving you a good connection, giving you a low voltage, or no voltage at all. So you can see the little metal tangs in there, making sure those are seated correctly. That way when you go to hook it up, it gives you a nice good click when you go to reinstall it. So on the power side, it's if you have no low voltage or no voltage, the things that can do to the machine, it will just be dead. It won't work, and or the machine will cock really slow, and that is causing the high amperages to go to the wiring and the armature of the motor, so it can start to burn them up. and you'll get less longevity or actually ruin a component. So if you see a machine cocking really slow, you definitely want to check your battery and get a new one on there if it's doing that. Moving up to the machine itself, tracing up the power line, the components on our control box. We have a remote port here. This is where your wireless receivers or your push buttons will hook into, and you just find the slot, and then you'll just start spinning and connect your receiver to your control box. That will allow you to fire your machine with your wireless remotes. Always when we are like checking a machine for an issue or something, we're always disconnecting any remote to the machine, so we don't have to worry about just taking one more item off of your flow chart of what's going on with the machine. So you want to unplug this. One, if you have your machine still armed and you're up there, somebody could push the remote and fire the machine. So when you come onto it, disconnect this, be safe. The next is our toggle switch, and it's on. You can flip it up, turns the machine on, cocks the machine. The middle position is neutral. There's no power going to the box at that point. And then you're down to where it decocks the machine. So flip this up, arms the machine, middle. The receiver's dead, it kills this port, so there's no power going to the receiver at this point, and then down will decock the machine. So the other components we'll talk about here is the circuit breaker. There's a circuit breaker hiding up inside here, and we put it in there to keep it out of the weather. I'll bring this around and show you where that's at. So if you look right there, that's our circuit breaker. If the arm gets caught or the carousel gets bent and catches, that will, the motor's trying to cock it at that point, and this impedes it from cocking all the way. The amps will be built up, and then that will pop our circuit breaker. So it typically won't pop under low voltage, but it will pop when something has impeded the motor from running. So just to notate that. Then we'll come around and we have our micro switch. The micro switch is right here on the inside. This is what controls the throwing arm where it needs to stop. So every time the arm comes in, it will hit this and shut the motor off, causing it to put the arm in the cocked position where we need it to be when we're firing targets. So I can just demonstrate what that looks like, how it's running and what it does. So I'm gonna flip the toggle switch on to run the machine. So the arm comes around, goes over top of that micro switch. It gets, the little arm there gets pushed down, and that shuts off our motor to the machine, leaving it armed and cocked. And then whenever you hit the firing button, it will fire and then go to that same spot. All right, let's go to the inside of the control box so we can look at those components. So I've loosened some of the bolts already so we can look inside this. So it's a number 2 Phillips. It's 4 Phillips heads to undo the box. All right, so inside the control box, we have, it's very simple. We have our toggle switch with the wires coming for it. And then we have our main relay, and this is a 70 amp relay with all the wires hooked to it. And then we have our ground bus bar here where all our grounds are hooked up, and then back here is that circuit breaker. So pretty simple electronics. You basically have 3 items with the circuit breaker, relay, 5-pin relay, and then our toggle switch. So these are the components that all incorporate into an Atlas 400. Next, let's talk about troubleshooting and things to do if you run into an issue.